Well, when it comes to journalism, only the top dogs are brave enough to get award-winning stories. Now, brave, strong, fearless, these are the people brave enough to take risks, the ones who run towards stories while others run from them. These are the people who have left their inspirational mark on bravery in Mzansi for Mzansi. Now let's take a look at the deserving journalists celebrated at this year's Brave Journalism Awards, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
This is the 4th annual Adcock Ingram OTC Brave Journalism and Media Awards. This event continues to grow every year, and for those of you who've joined us on this journey for the first, second and third years, you'll know that it really has this very, very special place in all of our hearts, because we're here tonight to honor media, personalities and journalists for their mark, your mark of bravery. These are the people, you are the people, brave enough to take risks, investigate, ask the really tough questions. We run towards stories when others run away, and brave enough to tell stories in South Africa that truly matter. We honor those who believe in journalists and journalism and who invest in media, because media freedom is at the cornerstone of our democracy. So give yourselves a huge round of applause, please.
The Adcock Ingram OTC Sponsors of Brave Journalism and Media Awards are critically important because a free media is actually the cornerstone of our democracy.
Being in the very home of Madiba, sitting next to his chef for 22 years and hearing those stories and the magnificent food that she provided. This has just been a night to remember for journalists.
This is a thankless job, and to actually just come here, relax, be with your peers, people that I haven't seen in years, and get to chat to one another and just be without the negativity of news is amazing.
I've got to say that this is probably one of the highlights of the year, not only in terms of what Adcock Ingram OTC Sponsors of Brave are doing, but also because I think it means a huge amount to people who work very hard all year to bring us the news, to bring us the stories.
It speaks to the survival of this country, the bravery of what all of us do.
Here in Mandela Sanctuary, it's almost surreal. Here we are, where I suppose one of the most inspirational people in my life, he walked these corridors. So come for a dinner here, I suppose just to feel that warmth that he exuded to all of us. Really enjoying our time. We had a lovely dinner with the journalists and just celebrating how they're inspiring our communities.
Journalists were in the forefront of telling stories to the population of this country and beyond, always find themselves caught in the middle of the chaos. So to recognize the bravery of having journalists, not just female journalists, our male counterparts too, continuing to remain resilient and go out and tell those stories is incredibly important.
Hope and bravery is the belief that the status quo will not hold, that things can and will get better if good people do something or refuse to accept the status quo.
I took a chance over a year ago, stepped out of my comfort zone, and I never thought that I would be making the changes that I'm making now and being so happy doing it.
I think for me it's important to be constantly reminded that we see you, we see your work, and we appreciate you in the midst of all the attacks that are coming, because those are increasing. So that's why this event is so important to me.
It means a lot to me this year because I was truly brave, and I feel like everybody else should be just as brave and have that hope in their hearts that things will change and get better.
Bravery to me is in my high heels chasing down some uncle or auntie who did the wrong thing. And with proof, obviously. That's what bravery for me is. It's speaking a truth based on fact, guys.
We're surrounded by a society that is being fractured to every level. If we don't have hope, what else do we have left to really come together? It's the hope of societies and humanity coming together again.
Hope is important because without hope, there is no future. Without hope, there is no faith. Hope looks up and fear looks down.
Hope is about creating a better South Africa, a corrupt-free South Africa, a crime-free South Africa. And I think we in the media have a role to play. Initiatives like these sponsors of Brave by Adcock Ingram, really spurs the media fraternity and the journalists on to go that extra mile.
It's been incredible to see our brave journalists gather once again and in the spirit of hope. It's such a privilege to be here in this space with South Africa's prominent voices that are leading our country.
Recognizing brave, courageous and brilliant journalists is a critical part of our industry, and I encourage Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave, to keep journalists at the heart of everything they do, and I thank them for everything they've done for our media industry.
Hopetober is a month of hope, brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave, inspiring communities one pharmacy at a time.
Very inspiring. I once heard this quote that journalism is the first rough draft of history, and that's so true. And if you've learned one thing today, it's that we should all be brave enough to face every challenge in life.
Hopetober is a month of hope, brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave, inspiring communities one pharmacy at a time.